Hey everybody, Greg from the Golfing Dads back here with Greg from Turtleson. We met last year at the show. Welcome back.
Thanks, Greg.
So this is, what year? Is this year 2 for you guys here? Or how many years have you all been here at the show?
We've been at this show, this is our 16th year.
16th year.
15th year.
15th year, okay.
15th year.
All right, so
Yeah.
that's true. So
Yeah.
we met last year. We were introduced to your wonderful brand here and the amazing clothing that you do. So tell us a little bit about what's happened from last year to this year, what's new and what's going on.
Yeah, so it's been a great year. We've had seen really great growth on the golf side. We had a busy show last year when you guys saw us, and we were excited about that line, and it finished strong. You know, we had the show started strong, sales continued through the year, so our golf business probably finished up. It was about 24% year over year, so that was good. And we've the line keeps looking strong. We had a great spring after that. And now we're here back showing the fall 26 line.
And how's the fall 26 line? How are people taking that this year?
Fantastic. Yeah, it's been we expanded our booth. We've got 4 new workstations, and it's been crazy crowded in here, and people seem to be loving it.
We've walked by a few times, and you got to wiggle your way through here. You all are making some meetings here, and now, like you said, you expanded. You had, I think, just this area that we're in right now.
We did. So the booth is about 30% bigger than it was last year, which is fantastic. We've been so busy. I'm not sure what we would have done if we had expanded the booth. So it's been good.
So I got to talk about this because we met you last year, and then the PGA season starts. And we get to the PGA Championship, and I felt like Leonardo DiCaprio in that one movie that's a big meme where it's like, oh! And I see on Scotty Scheffler's coach the Turtleson logo. That's right. Great logo that, I think we got there.
There you go.
I'm going to reach up.
Yeah.
There we go. I saw that turtle right there, and I was like, oh, I couldn't believe it. What did that mean to you when you saw that at the PGA Championship?
It was pretty cool, that's for sure. My cell phone lit up. It was a good moment for us. Randy Smith has been a great friend of ours since I've been in the golf business, and we're fortunate that he likes our apparel and wears it, and he's just a great guy. And so I was very excited for us to see our logo there, but also it was a great moment and to see Randy have that moment. So yeah. That's pretty.
Yeah, that was. I was so happy. I was happy for the PGA Championship, and then I saw that, and I was like, "Hey, I know them."
Me too.
Anyone named Greg is good people.
That's right. That's right. Greg's not a bad guy.
No. So, tell our viewers a little bit about your brand, where it came from, and where it's headed.
Sure. So, as this is our 15th year at the show, so we've been around since 2011. And I think we over time, it takes a while to kind of find your groove a little bit, and figure out what the brand's all about. And what we have been seeing in the market, probably for the past 5 or 6 years, is almost a homogenization of golf apparel. It's almost, you go to the golf course and you can almost look at a guy and say, oh yeah, that's that brand. And it's almost, to me, like the brands have been defining a person's style. And I think that's wrong. I think a brand should help a person express their own personal style. And that's kind of what we try to do. We're trying to make sure that style remains in golf. And sort of the vibe that you get in our apparel, not just this line, but future lines. If you look at the mix of color, it's really a sort of a relaxed, refined feel. And our goal is for a guy to be able to buy our apparel and be a fan of our brand, but to express his style. Not sort of force the style on it. And I think that's important in golf. If we're not careful, we're going to all look like Stepford wives out there.
That's true.
Uniform. So we're kind of proud of that, and I think we're really starting to make an impact there. So yeah, we're excited.
I think you do a great job at that. I love the variety that you offer here. It's not just, you're not pigeonholed into one thing. You have a button-down shirt, you have golf polos, you have hoodies, you have everything, sports coats, pants, everything that a golfer needs. To great hats. as well. So you're not just saying, hey, you have to look like this. We're going to give you options. And it's more like having a personal designer in your closet with all the different options you can give us.
I appreciate that. That hits kind of what we're talking about. If you came to our office on any given day and saw four of us together, Chet, my business partner, myself, Andy Plate, or President Chris Warren, our Executive VP of Merchandising Design, we'd all be head to toe in Turtleson, but we'd all look very different. We all kind of have our own style, and Turtleson works, for each of us to kind of define our personal style. So it is interesting when you see us sitting in a room together, and Turtleson is all we have on. But again, it's four totally different looks, totally different styles, and it kind of works for us. It's what makes me comfortable and confident, and same for them. And I think that's what style's about, right? It's about feeling confident and in what you're doing and in your environment, and clothing plays a big role.
Oh, exactly. And I love how your brand, like last year, one of my favorite things that I saw last year was that cashmere hoodie that you had.
Yeah.
That thing was super soft.
Yeah.
And you use these great materials to make different things. Like I would never think about a cashmere hoodie, or the way you look in what you're wearing here, this sports coat, it's made out of these great materials. So can you talk about the different kind of fabrics that you use and how that goes into the design process of
Yeah, so we have never turned our back on natural fibers. We're big believers. We've got a great 100% merino sweater program, not just sweater, but if you look to your right, most of what you see there is all 100% merino. And we do it so
comfortable.
Yeah, don't spill beer. It's very expensive.
I'm not gonna.
Yeah, but and we do that in a hoodie. And that whole relaxed, refined feel. I mean, what's more? Grab that stack right there and pull that down. Let me show you. So right here, look at this. Again, 100% extra fine merino, really classic, subtle Argyle, and then we've got a hood on. So you've got the hoodie. And we did that, if you remember last year.
If that disappears, it wasn't me.
Yeah, exactly. Last year we did a Apparel pattern. I was talking a lot about that last year. It went nuts. I mean, we sold so many of that. So this year we've come back with this, and just really, really, great natural fibers, done in sort of understandable, wearable, but then a little surprise there with the hood. So yeah, and we still do a lot of 100% cashmere. And then even when you get into kind of our more techy pieces, most of them have are either cotton rich or have a cotton feel. We're doing a lot of mineral infused technical fabrics this season, but when you feel them, they have a real natural feel to them, which is important to us, and that's kind of another way that we try to differentiate ourselves. It's not all 100% polyester. We mix it, we blend some cottons and lyocell's and models, and so we try to kind of make it our own and give it that natural handle.
You talked about it before, how you can all be in a board meeting and everyone is wearing Turtleson, but it all looks different. Is you use different fabrics. You don't just say, hey, we're going to use cotton, or we're just going to use this. You have so many different styles out there that performance athletic wear on the golf course, and the cashmere, the wool, and all of that, and it's just so comfortable, so soft out there. So I love that you don't just say, hey, we're going to go with this, and that's going to be our brand. Right. It's like you're going to hit everybody.
Yeah.
So everyone can enjoy Turtleson.
Absolutely. And again, in our conversation last year, we talked about really blurring that line between performance and luxury, and we continue to do that. And that's a focus. We want to make sure that our performance product is luxurious and looks very retail driven. And again, this is green grass where the majority of our business is. But this stuff really has a real retail flair. And again, let somebody build their own personal stuff. Now, we do a lot of polos, as you know, too. So, and but one thing we do a little different, I'll just grab one of these. If you feel this product, this doesn't feel like a slick shirt. So one of the things that we do that's different than probably 99% of people in this building is we use a full gold yarn in all the polos, and that's just what it sounds like. And this is the yarn is actually dull, so it doesn't refract as much light, so it doesn't get that slick, shiny look. And the hand feel, too. If you notice, it almost has a very subtle cotton hand feel.
Yeah,
it's
cooling.
Yeah, it is. It is. And then with our collar, I'm sure you're hearing all the talk about collars this year.
Oh, yeah.
So what we've done, where the market seems to be going, is a lot of collar stays and hardboarding type collars. Well, to us, that sort of throws the shirt all out of balance. You've got this great stretchy shirt that the whole purpose is to stretch and move with you. And then you put a rigid collar on it, and it doesn't move with you, right? So it's like you buy a dress shirt. First thing I do is take the collar stays out,
Yep.
put a sports coat, and if you're not careful, you've got a neck brace on. Right.
Exactly.
So feel this moves with you. The first truly engineered collar in golf.
Wow.
So this is.
I like how the outside has that solid feel, so it's not going to flop around.
That's right.
But it's also not going to restrict you as well.
Yeah, it is. It's going to move with you, and this is really the fusible. We work with the fusible company to come up with our own fusible. We require all our factories to use it, and then it's actually engineered and pieced in here. So it's not a solid piece of interlining or fusible goes all the way around. There's actually different fusible thickness and weight here as opposed to the back. There's less fusible here, so it folds nicely. And then here, it maintains its shape, where it's really important. So those are some things about our polos that we don't talk about a lot, but it's what really sets our polos apart, and we're proud of.
I also love that subtle branding.
Very subtle branding. Yeah, very subtle. So all of the branding on our golf shirts will be tonal, with a little bit of color on the edge. So where you really see it is if you catch it just from the side, you'll notice that you've got a little bit of contrast color. Otherwise, it almost disappears, which is nice. Our branding is always subtle. We're not going to beat you over all the time.
No, but your kind of branding is the clothes itself.
That's
and
right.
how it feels.
That's right.
And I mean, I love the logo too.
Yeah.
So I would be okay with the logo over it. I mean, I like this one here that has turtles.
Yeah, turtles popular for so that's for sure. It's popular there. Well, this isn't my booth. We'll just mess.
Okay, we'll mess this one up. Okay, that's good. So, where can our fans find you, and what's the best way for them to find the Turtleson brand?
Sure. So we're distributed across the U.S., mostly through high-end golf resort shops. We also sell through men's specialty shops in the U.S., and then you can also find us worldwide. We've got a pretty significant footprint worldwide now. So we have an office outside of London and Milton Keynes.
Oh, nice.
We ship directly from our Bristol warehouse to our European accounts, which is cool. And then we have distributors in Australia, New Zealand, South Africa.
So you're all over globally.
We're all over. We're worldwide, Greg.
Perfect. Well, Greg, thank you so much. Really appreciate it every year. So if you're looking for that comfortable business, casual, golf brand, everything, like we said, check out Turtleson for all of your clothing needs.
So, I mean, Greg is an amazing person. We always love meeting with Turtleson every single year. And Steve, you just removed yourself from it. Dave, welcome in. I'll add Steve back in here. Steve, stop taking yourself off. But if you are looking for a great golf brand, a real high-end market brand, check out Turtleson because they have some amazing clothing that is out there for you. All right, Steve. This week, you teased last week that you were going somewhere special. And you didn't say where it was, but I'm looking over your shoulder here, and I'm seeing a new little plaque behind you with a familiar.
I'm
logo.
not saying that if I won the lottery, there would be signs, but there would be signs, and there would be signs.
So, Steve, tell us where you went this week, and then I'm going to ask you some more questions about that.
So, I typically caddy the Wednesday prom at Bay Hill, and Bradley usually tells us we have to drink based on the drinking game. And unfortunately, my day job, my boss told me, "Hey, I need you to go somewhere for me." And that's someplace that
before you say that someplace, you just talked about someone that I think we should give a shout out to right now.
we do need to give a shout out.
I hope he's watching.
He is because you know what?
I don't know what else he has to do.
And Bradley, first of all, before we get going on this, we hope you're doing awesome, brother.
Yes.
Cheers. One of our longest, I think, continuous listener, and
our biggest fan,
and the originator of the drinking game. And Bradley, we know you can't have a drink right now. Bradley is recovering from triple bypass surgery. So, brother, we hope you're doing awesome. And we can't wait to see you back out and playing again soon.
And once you get back out on the course, we're getting around in this year out in the Chicago area. So, all right. So, Steve, back to what we were saying here.
Yep.
Where'd you go?
Went to a golf course in the middle of nowhere in Georgia called the Hoopy Match Club. It's a Gil Hanse design, very private golf club. It's got 92 members and 22 holes of golf. So the routing, there are two different routings that you can play. They have the championship routing and they have the whiskey routing. And not that anyone on this show does not like a nice glass of whiskey.
Whistle pig specifically right here.
They had that there.
Nice.
They had that there. I have to say, unbelievable isn't even the word to describe how amazing a Hoopy Match Club is. From the minute you arrive to the minute you leave, it is an experience. The golf course is unbelievable. There are no tee markers on the entire golf course. So we're going to start with that.
Well, Steve, let's start with actually why it's called a Hoopy Match Club. Because I think that's the biggest part here. For those of you who don't know, there's a reason behind the name. Not a Hoopy. There's a reason behind that too. But the reason it's called a match club and not a golf club is why, Steve?
Because you can only play match play there. That's it.
Which is interesting.
Yes.
It brings a lot of things into the normal golf realm. It takes them out of it. And you have caddies, and from what I'm aware, the caddies keep your score, and that's how you stay in match play only there. And the other reason is, like you said, there's no tee markers out there.
No.
So the course can change constantly.
I think one of the coolest things, and I'm going to, what is the 13th hole? The first day we played it in the championship routing in the afternoon, we played it as a 200-yard par 3, and it's got a Baritz green. And a Baritz green, for those of you that don't know, is those greens that have the big dip in the middle of them. Those are Baritz greens. And then day 2, we played it into the wind as a 250-yard drivable par 4. Because of the teeing ground, you can do that. The 18th hole, for example, can be played anywhere from 320 yards to 460 yards, depending on where you tee it up from. So the golf course itself, it just has this cool atmosphere that you can play holes differently one day to the next and have this cool experience that you can play the same hole, but it's an entirely different golf hole.
So, Steve, let me ask you a question about that with the tee boxes there specifically. Who chooses what tee box you play? Is it the course tells you ahead of time that you're playing, not tee box, but this distance? Like, do the caddies tell you that? Or is it your group says, hey, we're playing from this yardage today?
I'm going to give the caddies a ton of credit there. We had 2 amazing caddies in our group, and the other groups did the same thing. They, based off our handicaps, kind of made a routing for us. And it was really cool. Oh, there will be picks. I was waiting to talk about it.
It happened, Bradley. We all got picks.
It's one of those things that the caddies are like, okay, we're going to play it from here. We're going to play it from there. So you could play the third hole, can play as long as 670 yards. We played it up a little bit. Still made it a 3-shot hole, but it was a really good golf hole. There's one pond on the entire golf course. But the experience, I mean, the golf course is amazing. And you have the 2 routings. Oh, and by the way, when you get to 12, on the left-hand side, there is a pen that has zebra and wildebeest in it. And you're like, where'd this come from? And they embrace the zebra. Like, they've got putter covers and head covers with the zebra print on it.
I think we have a brand that we know that could do a collab out there.
They already have on the head cover side. They've done some work with them. So
That's not the brand I'm talking about.
That wasn't the brand I was thinking of either.
I'm talking about a putter brand.
Oh, putter brand? No, they have not done that. So,
Yeah.
but the golf course is awesome. They have figured out, and there are cool experiences in golf beyond just the golf. And so that night for dinner, there was no there's no menu. They just put up what you were having for dinner. And that night that we were there were 3-inch tomahawks on the outside fire pit. It literally was just one of those places. Everything was just amazing. They have lodges on site. They have a hunting lodge on site. So you've got places for people to stay when they come in, and you just have this experience. You get up and you go and you play, and it's just cool. And in the men's locker room afterwards, they have the greatest 24-inch range shower heads, the high pressure ones, for you to take a shower after you're done before you get out.
We don't need to hear about you showering.
I didn't need to know
Let's
that.
move on.
Yeah.
But no, the golf course is unbelievable. The experience was second to none. I want to thank the people that brought us out there. It was such a fun time. There were 8 of us there together. We played golf. We ate. We had some drinks, told some stories, and it was just a lot of fun.
Well, I'm going to segue into our next topic with that. So speaking of an unbelievable golf course, an unbelievable experience, and unbelievable events, if you were under a rock and didn't watch Bay Hill on Sunday, I mean, you missed some of the best golf we've seen all year. And we've all been to Bay Hill. I know, Bradley, we can drink. We're going to make your drinking game very popular tonight. We've all played Bay Hill. We've all been to the tournament out there. Steve, you've caddied for the Pro-Am out there. We know everything about that. We had your caddy master on here a few weeks ago, if you want to go back.
We did.
About that show as well.
But has he been a walking scorer there?
No, that's this week. We'll get to that too, probably.
That is this week, actually.
The atmosphere out there is always fun, and I thought something that they said when they were playing the playoff hole, that this would have been what Arnie would have wanted. He loves seeing these young guys out there fighting and making it a good tournament and having a great time out there. And that's what this tournament lived up to. It lived up to Arnie's legacy this week. Congratulations to Akshay, or as Tiger calls him, Ashtray. If you haven't seen that clip,
yes,
that's pretty funny. But Akshay, congratulations.
At least it wasn't me.
That's true. That's a big win this week, and what a tournament. So I'm going to ask.
Where did Greg go? He was going to ask something, and Greg is gone.
And we lost him.
And we lost him. Dave, let's go into so I was out there on Saturday and Sunday.
Yes.
The golf course, I was surprised. The rough was thick. It was nasty. It wasn't...
Can you guys hear me?
Thick. Yeah, we can hear you now.
Yes.
Okay.
It wasn't as thick as as I think it had been in years past. Fairways were really firm, and when I got out there on Saturday, the greens were white.
The greens were white?
White. The greens were white. They had turned white already come Saturday. And Saturday afternoon we
sanding or seeding or anything like that?
No, just on the way to turning brown. On the way to turning brown.
Okay.
Yeah.
They had gone from green to white to brown would have been next, except we got lucky with that storm that came through for about an hour on Saturday afternoon and put some water on the golf course. Put a lot of water on the golf course in a very short amount of time. I think that the golf course itself played as typical Bay Hill did. I was surprised at the low numbers that were shot at Bay Hill this week, especially on Thursday and Friday. Did not see that out there, and you never see that out there.
I thought something was interesting about that. The announcers were talking about, was it easier in the morning or easier in the afternoon? And it really looked, based on the scores, that the group that went out first had a much better experience than the group that went out in the afternoon. And they said,
especially on Thursday.
Oh, definitely. Yeah. That's what I'm talking about. Thursday specifically. But you really saw it in the scores. The afternoon scores were much different than the morning scores that day.
I also think the golf course itself There weren't a lot of changes this year. In years past, there's been some changes to the golf course. They've done some different things, moved some tee boxes around, moved some bunkers around. We didn't see any of that this year. So obviously they're real happy with what they've got in the golf course. And I will tell you that it was fun to walk around and see the players challenged. It wasn't, where you normally see the driver wedge or, that a lot of people complain about at professional golf. It turns into a driver wedge event. Bay Hill's not. And when you get into it and get into the teeth of the golf course, there's some great golf holes out there. Funny enough, the shortest par 4 on the golf course is the number 1 handicap hole on the golf course. I was surprised with some pin placements on Sunday. I really was. I had expected that pin on 13 to be more to the right, closer to the water, and they kind of put it in the middle of the green. And I was like, really? Kind of surprised there. Why isn't that up against the edge? It was your typical Sunday.
I think that had to do with weather.
Yeah,
I think that had to do with the weather and delays.
Yeah.
So, Steve, I got a question for you and Greg here. You were out there Saturday with the weather and the hour delay, and it bound to happen eventually because we came into time change on Sunday, and we had guys that didn't finish on Saturday due to the weather.
Yep.
And we saw Akshay rolling a putt that he had to count to 10 before that thing dropped on 18, Sunday morning. Was that advantageous for Ricky and Colin to go out and finish their round on Saturday and get a little bit extra sleep going into Sunday, or rather than having to wake up and go out there bright and early Sunday morning and play a couple golf holes after the time change?
I think because of the size of the field, I don't think it was that big of a deal because I can't tell you where the players stay. I know where the players stay for this event. It's very close to Bay Hill, and I don't think it's a bad little, hey, we'll go play 2 holes, come back, take a little nap, get some rest, take a shower, and then go back out to the golf course.
Some of them had RVs at where I used to work.
Some of them did. A lot of them aren't traveling with those anymore. They're either staying in rental houses or at a certain hotel around the area there.
And I think that it's a little bit different in the sense of they weren't playing like 10 holes, like half of the course. I think that they only had a few holes left to make up, so they had that time. They didn't have to turn around, get right back out there, get in their warm-up and routine. I think the thing that surprised when you're at
me
this
is
level, you're prepared for this.
Yeah. I think the thing that surprised me is when they blew the horn on Saturday. We were walking to the car when they blew the horn on Saturday. And the 3 of us would have played for another 45 minutes with as much daylight as there was.
Oh, Greg and I have finished with almost like we needed flashlights.
Lights on the cart.
We
had lights on the golf cart on 18 one time there.
I was kind of surprised, especially that Daniel Berger had 2 putts for birdie on a par 5 that he was probably going to 2-putt anyway from where he was putting from. And I was shocked that he left a coin on that overnight. That one surprised me that he didn't putt out and then just take a full swing as his first shot of the day on Sunday morning on 17. The other thing that surprised me in the golf course setup was they used the forward tee, the member tee, on Sunday, and played it from like 180 yards. That bottom tee, they didn't go all the way to the back deck.
So, Steve, going back to your comment with Daniel Berger and leaving it marked on there, sometimes I just think that's a feel. I think had he maybe not felt as comfortable with the putter, which he's been putting lights out, I think he was like, hey, maybe if I leave this putt here, I can get some confidence right out of the get-go because I've been putting well. And I'm not just coming swinging raw. I'll know what that feels like because then I can go back to the putting green and work on some things. So sometimes I think it's a mental game. Like you're on the green, you know, like you said, you might have a 2-putt there from the distance you're at, but it can help you gauge. It can help you get that momentum, which I think helps him play better the rest of that day.
Yeah. And I think that the TV crew nailed it on the head there, saying that he's going to have different light come first thing in the morning to actually see this line a little bit better. Because we all know, the TV we can sit here and say, and people say, well, it looked all nice and bright on TV. Well, that's the joys of 4K cameras that are shooting everything.
Right.
Well, the one thing Steve is actually
there.
telling us, because he was there, so
Yeah.
Steve actually didn't see it on TV, so it's a little bit different there. But I will say, Bay Hill, in all the years that we have all gone to this tournament, which we've had the privilege to go to, I feel every few years weather is a factor in this tournament. I feel there's one day that you get a monsoon at this tournament. I remember I was there the year when the tree behind number 2, the par 3, got struck by lightning. I was right by that area right as that happened. And
this year they had the alligator. This year they had the alligator.
Oh, the gator,
the gator, the beast. And by the way, you guys have been out there around 6, and you know how far it is from where the viewing area is to the pond on 6. And he looked big from where we were all standing in the viewing area. So that will tell you he was a big dude. So
that's a big boy.
I do want to, before we get into our next topic, and we're going to talk about this person in our next topic anyway, I do want to give Akshay some credit. Dude played lights out on Sunday. 6 threes on the back 9. Went out and as Arnold used to say, play bold. He played bold on Sunday, and when he needed to. And I mean, I think we're going to go, and it's March 10th today, and I think on March 8th, Akshay arguably may hit the shot of the year. And that 6-iron that he hit on 16 to set up the eagle. That shot was absolutely incredible. It was a push cut that he flew right at the flagstick and just boom, dumped it in there. Looked like he almost dumped it in the hole too. So I'm going to give Akshay a ton of credit. Dude golfed the ball in the back 9 and went out and tried to win the golf tournament, which is
that's what earned me some money for winning.
I will say that Akshay on 13, when I watched him on the 13th hole, that's when I really was like, I think this is going to a playoff, or I think Akshay is winning this, because he had the eye of the tiger there. I mean,
he made the bomb on 11. The putt he made on 11, the 60-footer on 11.
When he got to 13 is where I think he turned it on. And I think he made a bogey there, dropped 2 strokes behind, and that eagle put him right back in it. And Berger missed some putts to make it interesting. But
I was walking with the group in front.
It was exciting to watch.
I was walking with the group in front of them, and we turned around and watched Akshay hit his approach shot into 13, and he stuffed it in there tight. And we all kind of were like, whoa, hey, somebody's trying to win this golf tournament. Let's go. And we were walking with Cam Young and
Sahith.
No. Who was Cam paired with?
Oberg?
No, Sepp. It was Cam and Sepp.
It was Sepp.
Oh, Sepp.
Yep.
And I ended up getting in a conversation walking around the golf course with Cam's dad, who was out there. Cam's dad is a swing instructor, and had a great conversation with him talking about Cam and things that he is doing and what a great person he is. So I think Cam is you guys know I was hard on him. I said he needed to win. I think his second win is going to come a lot quicker than his first win did on PGA Tour.
Well, if you're looking for the right mindset to get a win, I think you need to look no further than the Bridgestone mindset. The Bridgestone Tour B golf balls are going to put you in that right mindset when you're on the course. Make sure you are checking out Bridgestone Golf for all of your golf ball needs and getting in the right mindset with the Bridgestone Tour B.
Speaking of
Bridgestone Tour B,
I've got a box.
They are coming out.
Like some golf
here are
balls.
the golfing dads. And
yes,
they are coming out with a line of golf balls.
They announced it today. Really excited. We saw these at the show. We kind of teased it in the interview at the show, and they didn't bite on it. It was all right though. We were all right with it. But Bridgestone now has as the golfing dads, and our partnership with Upswing Golf and the kids.
We'll get to that in a second.
We will get to that in a second. But now they've got the Bridgestone Boom It for junior golf. And really excited to get these out. We all know that the Boom Boom name came with Freddie Couples when he's been with Bridgestone forever. And I'm going to open this box here, see what we got here.
Now, here's the thing that I think is amazing here while you're opening this up. And thank you to Bridgestone for seeing this opportunity, especially as golfing dads, for our kids, finding a golf ball that isn't like a kid golf ball that has SpongeBob or Mickey Mouse or something else on it. This is a golf ball that is designed for kids, for the youth program, and I think
got
that's
that red B on it.
very missed market.
The U.S. Kids Golf, and you know what else is on it?
Oh, boom! You need that mindset.
The mindset. Yeah. You need that mindset.
We talked the last week after the show. Steve had a little conversation with Will about that. So Will's been asking, does he get some? And we're looking forward to spring and summer golf time.
Yeah.
With all that coming up.
But
so, yes,
you also need to pair. Well,
Bradley
these
is
aren't
back.
designed for Dave, but you also need to pair those with great set of clubs for your kids. If you are looking for the perfect set of clubs to grow with your kids, check out Upswing Golf at upswinggolf.com. These clubs are interchangeable, so as your kid grows, the club grows with your kid, so you're not buying new clubs every week. Grow like a pro with Upswing Golf.
Look at that. Listening on hitting balls on the range, listening to the golfing dads. Love that. What's up, Gas?
Hey, that's a great way to improve your game out there. So
so let's talk. If Gessner's out there practicing, there's been a lot of chatter on the Monday morning quarterback edition. I mean the internet, whatever we want to call it this week, about Akshay's putter.
So this has been a topic that has been going around the golf blogosphere, vlogosphere, whatever you want to call it. The golf industry has been talking about this for quite some time, but it has gained a lot of traction again lately because a lot more players are going to this broomstick style putter, and it goes back to the days of yore when anchoring putters was a thing. Now the rule changed where you can no longer anchor the putter, so you can still use a broomstick, but you can't anchor it against your chest. What a lot of people are saying now is you can't tell if someone is anchoring it or not when you're looking at it, because if they have a baggy shirt on, is it against their shirt? Is it against their chest? Some people hold it away so you can see, as they would say in middle school dance, you could leave some room for Jesus in between the putter and the shaft, or the shaft and the chest. But here's my question. Does anchoring, even if it is happening, does it give you any sort of advantage? Because I don't think it does. And based on the rules, I think, yes, if you see someone anchoring it, that is breaking the rules. But when the PGA and the RNA decided, or the USGA and the RNA decided that anchoring was banned a few years ago, everyone went away from these broomstick styles and the belly putters that were being anchored as well. And now they're coming back to the broomstick, but they're saying they're not anchoring, but people are saying they are. So it's still creating that controversy. So does anchoring have any effect in your opinion? Because for me, it does not. And
whose rant do you want to hear first? My rant or Steve's rant?
I'm going to hear Steve's rant first because I'm going to ask Steve a question specifically to that, because I know that we all think this. If you're going to ban anchoring, why don't you ban the arm lock? Because that is technically more surface area of anchoring than the tip of the putter shaft on your chest. Whoever wants to go first, be my guest.
I'll go. And Greg, you got to one of my points. The first question you have to answer based on these Monday morning quarterbacks is Akshay anchoring? Akshay weighs 130 pounds. You could put one of Ollie's shirts on him, who's Greg's 5-year-old, and it would look big on him. Let's just be real about it. So do I think he's anchoring? No. I also think that until any of these armchair quarterbacks sit on a putting green on a Monday, Tuesday, or Wednesday and listen to the players talk with the rules officials about their stroke and what they're doing, they don't know what they're talking about, and they need to get over themselves. And if you were going to accuse somebody of being a cheater I've got some bigger problems with you not knowing what's going on. I agree, Greg, that the arm lock to me is also anchoring. And again, there's more of the grip pressed against your body than there is with that putter. There's the question of, do you ban the broomstick, and do you go to how long can the putter be? I'll argue that further though. And we're talking about a rule that was made up by the same people that think that it's a smart idea to draw the golf ball back. And that is one of my bigger issues.
We're not going down the golf ball rollback right now. Let's stick with the putters.
But it's the same people making this decision. And those people are sitting there and saying, oh, well, somebody want to major with it, so we need to open an investigation as to whether this thing's legitimate or not, and whether or not it's cheating or not. I don't think that the powers is the PGA Tour better when Akshay is playing great? Is the PGA Tour better when Adam Scott is playing great? Is the Champions Tour better when Bernhard Langer is playing great? Do we go back to the idea of, is Keegan Bradley, if Keegan Bradley is playing great, is it better for golf for all of these guys? I think that golf is better when all these guys are playing. And the PGA Tour is going to tell you that based on the decisions that they're making and trying to get those guys out there more and trying to become more of, to be critical of them, more of a closed shop. So do I think that the PGA Tour is making when you look at the powers that be, I think they've made a mistake in this. And I do think, because I've tried it, and if you ever want to watch somebody look like an idiot on the putting green, just give me a belly putter or a putter that anchors into my chest, because I'll look like the biggest.
We don't need that for you to look like an idiot.
Hold on.
I was waiting for somebody to say it.
Clip. We had the perfect soundbite there that we are going to cut out for everything Steve says from now on. So, okay.
Yeah.
So we get that the anchoring, we don't think, or at least Steve and I don't think, that anchoring has any kind of effect to give you a competitive advantage. So, Dave, what's your take on this?
Here's the thing. This is the only people complaining about this are the Monday morning quarterbacks. There's been several tweets or whatever coming out. The players don't care. They really don't when it comes down to it. Before you know it, there's going to be a truck that pulls up that has generic clubs for everybody. Here's your bag for your round. Go and play. If that's what the Monday morning quarterbacks want to make everything fair and across the board, here's your set of clubs that have no brand name on them. Here's your balls that don't have anything on them. Go play. Here's a wooden stick, and there's a hole out there. We put a pond and a sandbox around it, to make it a little bit more difficult for you.
Dave, you just turned it into NASCAR. Like, you just turned it into NASCAR, but using Sunoco fuel and Goodyear tires.
Hold on. So, Dave, I brought up a good thing to Steve the other day that goes along with what you're saying. And this is where I think the difference lies, is that in Major League Baseball, all the players use wooden bats, not aluminum bats, because a wooden bat versus an aluminum bat is a competitive advantage. And to be honest, with the power that these Major League players hit with, you'd probably kill someone if you hit a line drive at them with an aluminum baseball bat. So that's the difference there, where you get a competitive advantage, where I don't think this gives you a competitive advantage and doesn't make it where that makes Major League Baseball better. This doesn't make golf better.
At the end of the day, it's going to be like Adrian waking up from a coma and looking at Rocky and going, win. That's all you need to do.
Well, apparently when you
go win.
If you're using something different, it's a competitive advantage out there. So
go win. Because it's like our Cobra DS Adapts Max with all those cheat code additions that you have on it that Steve so likes to point out. And if that's to be the same thing, come on. Let's go out and play some golf.
That is the cheat code of drivers out there, is the Cobra.
That is.
Future Fit 33 technology with their new Optum driver. It is a cheat code out there. Make sure you're checking out Cobra Golf for all of your golf club needs. Now,
so Greg, I want to get into a Team Cobra person.
That's where I'm going with this. So that's where I'm going right now. Is
Ricky.
This week I'm not talking about Ricky. We're getting serious here, folks. This is I have to say, one of the most heartfelt things. It tears at your heartstrings here, and I'm so glad that he had the strength to do this. But Gary Woodland came out talking about the PTSD that he has from the surgery that he had on his brain years ago and the struggles that he is going through and has been keeping inside. And it is a perfect story for everyone that if you're keeping something inside, your friends and family are there to help you out. His friends on tour, his family are there to help him out, and he is struggling through something that none of us can know what that is like and can only be there to support him. So if you haven't watched this, go watch Gary Woodland's interview on the Golf Channel.
I will share it on the Golfing Dads Facebook page for you to go and watch it. I watched it live last night. I shared it with you guys this morning, and it makes you think about a lot of things in life and a lot of things that people are going through. And I just want to say, Gary, we're all here to help you. Every one of us should be here to help him. I honestly think, remember after Paul Azinger battled cancer and then came back and won the Sony Open in Hawaii? I don't care where Gary wins. I do think Gary is going to win again, and I think it will be a bigger story than Paul Azinger winning the Sony Open in Hawaii.
And Gary, everyone in this community is here for you. Everyone in society is here for you. And Steve, like you said, we don't know what everyone else is going through, and we need to be better in society of looking out for each other and not putting each other down. We all have differences. We all have differences in opinion, but we need to respect those. And we also need to respect that we don't know what someone else is going through, why they have the opinion that they have, or why they're suffering the way that they suffer. And we need to care more about our fellow golfers, our fellow family members, our kids, our parents, the people we work with, our neighbors, because you never know what someone's going through. And Gary, the bravery that you have to share this, what you're going through, I think is a great step forward. I think you got a long road ahead of you, but just know that the golfing community is there for you. Yep. And as a society, we need to be there for everybody.
Now, I will say this. If any of those idiots, and I saw a lot of them out there at Bay Hill this week, that are shouting dumb things after players hit, are saying stuff to Gary Woodland, every one of you out there, and if you're there and see them saying anything dumb, you have our permission to go and punch them where it counts. I'm just going to say it.
Yeah, that's the thing. Let's be respectful of everyone. Let's be respectful out there in the world. All right, so let's move on to this week's tournament, the Players. And as we all know, the Players Championship, every year we have the PGA State of the Union, where the CEO of the PGA gets up in front of all the players and announces what's going on. Big announcements here. So I'm going to ask the two of you, and I each want you to come up with something here. I want wrong answers only. Yes, what is going to be his big bombshell that he's going to drop? But remember, wrong answers only. Make them funny. Make them good. Steve, I'll let you go first.
That starting next year, every golf tournament on the PGA Tour will be played at a local muni, and Carl Spackler is going to be the official superintendent for every event.
Okay. All right, Dave. What's your wrong answers only? Big bombshell.
We've absorbed Live Golf, and everybody's back.
Wow.
So, that's close to what my big bombshell is going to be. Is that we have decided that Live Golf is better. We are folding and turning everything over to Live Golf. You are all now Live Golfers officially. That was going to be my big bombshell for that. All right. So with that being said, we know that there's going to be something that comes out of this. So we will report out on that next week on our show. But we're looking forward to the Players this week. Another great tournament. This is a fun week where we have two kind of back-to-back big tournaments. You got Arnie's tournament, and
I need to read this comment really quickly. Hey, Rob Person, every player has to swap putters based off spinning the wheel.
Nice.
I like it.
After Scotty's, round of 77 on Thursday, he has to play Friday left-handed.
If you win a hole, your playing partner gets to take a club out of your bag.
Club out of your bag. Yeah. Like, okay.
So,
there we go.
All right. So what are we looking forward to this week at the Players? Now, everyone at home who's playing the drinking game, please refill your glasses, because everything that comes out of Steve's mouth from this point forward will be about how Steve has played this course, how Steve has walked this course, how Steve has been a scorer at this course, how Steve will show the picture of when he was in a lot better shape in college, and he wore
With
those
hair.
fun
way more
sunglasses
hair.
on,
Way more
with
hair.
a lot more
Yeah.
hair.
And a headset.
So what are we looking forward to this week
Still wear a
at
headset. but yeah,
TPC
it's a little different.
Sawgrass? are we looking
I
forward to,
look
guys?
forward to the same thing I look forward to every year, and that is the test that TPC Sawgrass is. Cream always rises to the top of this golf course. There aren't very many outliers that have won on this golf course, and you have one of the best tests of golf that I think it should stand on its own. I don't think we need a fifth major. But I do think also watching every shot from 17 this week might be the greatest thing ever.
Well, I think that's my biggest thing from this is I love that you hit 17 and Alice Dye, I got my Pete Dye hat on, an Alice Dye creation that, to be honest, is not that long of a hole, but it tests your nerves. And that's, you're finishing up there. If you want to win, you have to conquer 17. And I think that's a big plus for this golf course and this golf tournament. Dave, what are you looking forward to?
I'm looking forward to, because this is a course that challenges not just the cream of the crop rising to the top. I think this is a course that allows somebody to come almost out of nowhere sometimes to challenge the top of the board. And I think that may happen this week.
Hey, and if you're trying to dial in your yardage and make sure that you have the right yardage on 17, you need to check out Nikon and their line of golf rangefinders. And next week's show, we will talk with Nikon a bit about the Cool Shot Pro and their other rangefinders out there. But if you're looking for a great rangefinder, the official rangefinder of the LPGA Tour and the Golfing Dads. All right, Dave, who do we got this week? What are some odds we got this week? One thing I want to know is, what is the over-under for balls in the water on 17?
Oh, I haven't looked at that yet, but I will. Scotty coming in at about 4.25 to 1. Rory, as of right now, is 14 to 1, which after pulling out of Bay Hill, I still think he needs to be a little bit farther down the list, but he is Rory.
Yeah, I think
until he says that he's not playing, if Rory doesn't play, all these odds are kind of mute, because the odds will fluctuate if Rory comes out. Morikawa 20.5, Siwoo at 24, Fleetwood at 25, Henley at 26, Ludwig at 27, Xander at 29, Cam Young at 31, Victor and Hideki at 37, Minwoo Lee at 40, Fitzpatrick at 41, Akshay at 42, and Goddard at 44, Brooks Koepka at 45.
I just need to know what the odds were on Dave getting through those names without messing one of them up.
That's pretty good. 100%. There we go, Dave.
You do realize I only mess up names just to give you guys fodder to work with.
We know. Virtual high five. Come on. There we go.
So, Greg, by virtue of Tommy Fleetwood doing Tommy Fleetwood things, you have first pick.
Yeah, he was kind of at the bottom there. I have
sitting
Scotty
there for
available,
you,
don't I? I know.
Yes, you do.
I don't feel Scotty's playing well right now, and I think he's going to work some things out this week. I do think Scotty will be a top 10 finish here. My gut has told me to go between two people, and one person who I feel is playing really well right now, and I think this is his time to show that off. Give me Sepp.
Sepp is coming in at 54.
I think this is a good challenge for him. I think he did well out at AT&T. and I feel this is a very similar layout to out there.
Mhm.
But I think it has better weather, so I think he can show off a little bit more here, and I think this will set up nicely for Sep. So,
Steve,
put it down. Who's next?
you and I talked this. Steve,
Yeah.
you and I talked this a little bit earlier. I have a feeling I know where you're going to go here.
Yep, you do. I'm going to take somebody
You
who's been trending in the right direction. His last 4 Players Championships, he's finished 28th, 24th, 17th, and 10th. He won at Pebble Beach this year, and that's Colin Morikawa.
Yep, I was already.
That was my
typing it
other.
in there.
That was my other pick. I almost picked him,
Yeah.
but I feel he's already won. I feel he is trending in the right way. I think this is going to be a Sep Colin Morikawa battle at the end.
So
We
had my
gift wrap this one for you in third. I mean, we left him there for you.
We left 3 people, I feel, on the table for you here.
Yes.
I tell you what, I had mine typed in before you two guys even picked. I was
Can't
down.
pick Ricky 2 weeks in a row.
I know that. I was down. I was down between 2 people, and I kind of decided earlier. I was trending towards Minwoo Lee.
Okay, I like that pick.
Coming off a good week at Bay Hill.
But
Yep.
But like going and willing Ricky, I am going to be willing another player on the comeback trail this year. I'm
JT?
taking Jordan Spieth this week.
Okay.
Jordan Spieth is coming in at 66 to 1. I think he had a great showing at Bay Hill.
He did.
I think he's really coming around, and I think I'm taking the long odds here this week. I'm leaving some players up at the top that we normally take, and I'm changing up my strategy this year.
Yeah, there's some players out here that I want to see, like
mean
Victor
that guy
Hava.
right
I'd like to
there?
see do really well.
Yeah, that guy right there. Yeah,
That guy right there, huh?
Yeah, that guy.
With my son, yeah.
All right. With that, good luck to everyone at Bay Hill. Thank you to Gary Woodland for
You mean the
everything
players?
that
You
he's
mean
done.
Greg? We're at the player.
No,
We're at the players.
I was saying congratulations to Akshay at Bay Hill. Is really where I was going there, and I just said over my words there because I'm really thinking about Gary
tune in
Woodland
next
and everything.
week for a special Golfing Dad solo edition.
Oh,
I still don't know how I feel.
It's a
still don't know how I feel about
fireside
that.
chat with Greg. That's what it is. It's a
I don't know how I
fireside
feel
chat with
about
Greg.
this.
We're going to be taking your calls. We're going to be talking about that you don't have to listen to Steve next week, but we're going to have Nikon and Squares Golf on the show as well. So, and then we're going to talk everything about the players this week. So, cheers, everybody.
Cheers.
Thanks for watching.
Cheers.